it's Enigma, and today I want to talk to you about the characters that I would like to see in Injustice 3 if we ever get a chance to get the game. So I've taken a bit of a extra stance and I decided to take some of the images that are in the user interface or the character select menu and to just cross off which characters I don't want to see. And it might make a bit more sense in the, well, in the realm that if Injustice 3 ever gets made, it would definitely be in its best interest to take inspiration from the storyline Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's one of the most iconic storylines, and in the, well, in pretty much all of DC's history, it is the first crisis that literally shook the foundation of DC Comics. But also, this, if it comes true, if it comes to fruition, this has to be the last Injustice game. For the sake of the series, I think it would be better that if Injustice 3 gets made, that's it. That should be the last of it. But going back to the character selection, well, we're gonna start things off with, and I just realized that I'm covering up some of the characters. I mean, these are pretty much no-brainers. So you got Flash, Nightwing, and Batman. Now scrolling back over to the other characters that have to be in the game: Cyborg, Green Arrow, Superman, Martian Manhunter, Raven, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Zatanna, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Batgirl. Now, you might be wondering why I crossed off Shazam. Well, it's not really that big of a spoiler. I don't think Shazam would be should be in the game because, well, they kind of killed him off. Okay, they didn't kind of kill him off. They just straight up axed them. Personally, I don't think Shazam should come back. In this case, though, if he does, it would have to be the one from the parallel universe instead of the Injustice universe. Moving on, we've got Lobo and Harley Quinn. Now, I crossed off Joker and Solomon Grundy. Well, Grundy didn't really do much in the first Injustice game, so obviously, I don't think he's gonna do much in Injustice 3. As for the Joker, I feel like they've pretty much overdone the Joker to the point where he's become pretty cringy at this point. I mean, in Injustice 1, he served his purpose, and then in Injustice 2, they barely did anything with him except for the hallucinations. And besides, Joker's dead in the Injustice universe, and in the parallel universe, even though technically in the game, you see him with a smile as he's getting escorted back. If you've read the comics, he was straight up just begging to get locked up because of how badly Harley ended up beating him. Moving on, so we've got Zod, Lex Luthor, Catwoman, and Deathstroke. Zod is just an iconic Superman villain, and obviously he should be in the game along with Lex Luthor. Now, the Lex Luthor in Injustice 3 would have to be the one from the parallel universe instead of the Injustice universe, because just like Joker and Shazam, he's dead. And it would also make a lot more sense if the one from the parallel universe comes into the roster. Catwoman is a no-brainer. Deathstroke, well, Deathstroke, he's the world's greatest mercenary. The game would be incomplete without him. Now, I crossed off Scorpion and Doomsday because Scorpion, well, he's a Mortal Kombat character. I feel like there could be a chance that we could get a different Mortal Kombat character in the Injustice 3 roster. Even though Doomsday did do a bit more than Solomon Grundy, it really isn't that much. Now, Killer Frost and Ares, the reason why I kept them is because I feel like these two characters could definitely be better flushed out in Injustice 3. Moving on to Sinestro, Black Adam, and Bane. These are characters that have been mainstays in DC Comics, and obviously you would want to get some of these characters back into the main roster. Sinestro's fun to play against, and he's also fun to play with. Black Adam could definitely be more of an ally. Well, he's one of the better anti-heroes. As for Bane, well, we need more muscle on the roster. Okay, moving on to, well, using the Injustice 2 roster as a good set point. So Swamp Thing, I feel like Swamp Thing could definitely come back. Same thing with Dr. Fate and Supergirl. You know what? I think it might be a better idea if I zoom in. So Swamp Thing, Supergirl, Dr. Fate, these are characters that should come back, especially with some of the significance that these characters can play, especially Supergirl. Now, if you've seen the animated movies as well as read the original comic book, you would know why Supergirl is gonna have to play a big part in Crisis on Infinite Earths. But for those who don't, well, we'll just leave it up to we'll leave it up as a surprise. Now here are a bit of a few crazy ones. So Black Manta and Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, obviously, because he's the character that I mained in Injustice 2. I don't want to have to spend more time learning another character. And Black Manta, again, it would be just really cool to have some of the more in-depth villains inside of the game, especially with the two main, well, technically it's going to be one main antagonist and one major protagonist, which I do hope we get as characters to play because, well, they're the big ones in the storyline. I'll get to them in a little bit though. Okay, so Firestorm definitely has to be in the game. Same with Red Hood. Red Hood is awesome. Black Canary obviously has to be in the game. Now Captain Cold is a bit of a odd one. Now I kind of kept him on the roster only because he could have a bit of a redemption arc in Injustice 3. Cheetah should definitely stay on the roster. Same thing with Deadshot. Now Deadshot was fun to play, even though he was there to kind of fill that void for Deathstroke not being in Injustice 2. I feel like having both Deadshot and Deathstroke in Injustice 3 could definitely add a bit more to that kind of, well, dynamic, the whole mercenary for hire rivalry. So we got the Atom, Starfire, and Poison Ivy. You can't go wrong with any of these characters. I mean, the Atom, we need more heavy hitters. Starfire, she was great in Injustice 2, even though she's a DLC character. It would be cool to see her added into the main storyline. Same thing with Poison Ivy. Now, I kept Robin over here, even though technically Damian Wayne's Robin slash Nightwing wouldn't be that big of a mainstay. I would like to see him have a redemption arc, only because I'm a big sucker for the DC AMU Damian Wayne, but I feel like it would be awesome to have Damian Wayne's Nightwing and possibly somebody else filling out that Robin mantle. I would like to see Tim Drake Robin. Now, this is where things are going to get a little bit more interesting. So, as I mentioned before, there are a few extra characters that I would like to add. And these are some that I ended up thinking of at the top of my head. Off the top of my head is what I meant to say. But there is a little bit of wiggle room in here. So I want to hear which characters you would like to see in Injustice 3. But in the meantime, let's just move over to the first character. Actually, I think it would make more sense if I zoom in again. Okay, so I zoomed in and I just realized that my face cam is covering up, well, Power Girl. Okay, had to turn it off. All right, now, first character that should be in there, obviously Power Girl. Power Girl is awesome, and even though it is fun to have Power Girl as an alternate skin for Supergirl, I feel like now it's about time for them to be two different characters, and it would make sense. Now, Beast Boy, I feel like Beast Boy should definitely be in Injustice 3. I would love to see just how creative he could get with his animal transformations. I would love to see this guy just like turn into a snake when he's going for a throw, and then just like whipping people around. Okay, so moving on, we got Static Shock and Superboy. Now, I'm a big fan of Nolan North's performance in Young Justice, and I feel like he could definitely bring in that same energy to Superboy and Injustice 3. As for Static Shock, I know technically Static is in Injustice, but he's only in the Injustice mobile game. In the mobile games, not that many people play those anymore, or at least to my knowledge, not that many people play them anymore. I mean, the most that I've seen anybody interact with the Injustice mobile games is when they're in arcade machines at Dave & Buster's, and that's it. Now, here are a bit of a few curveballs. Now, we've got Miss Martian and the Penguin. Miss Martian, I feel like it would make sense because Martian Manhunter is in Injustice 1, and having Miss Martian be next to him in Injustice 3 would definitely fit. And plus, I would like to see her interactions with Superboy in the game. Now, Penguin over here is a bit of a interesting one. Now, one of my favorite versions of the Penguin, besides the Arkhamverse Penguin, is from the Batman. I'm not talking about the Robert Pattinson Batman. I'm talking about the Warner Brothers The Batman series, the animated series. Having the different array of umbrella type weapons would be very, very interesting to explore, especially with how some of them can go. I mean, he's got an umbrella machine gun, he's got an umbrella sword, he's got an umbrella flamethrower. I would like to see this little guy even use the handle as like a grappling hook to bring people towards him. Now, a few more characters that I would like to see are Killer Croc, because yeah, we could use more muscle, and I would like to see him in a fighting game. We could also have the Huntress and the Batwoman coming into the game as well. The Bat family is massive. We got Huntress, we've got the Batwoman, and we also have the Batwing. Batwing, I would love to see in Injustice 3. He's like the Tony Stark of the Bat family, one of the smartest characters ever created in the Bat family, and he's also quite a technician. Not just a technician, a tactician as well. Although it would be a little interesting to see just how everybody's morals are gonna clash, especially since Batwoman, she's known to use firearms. But please, for the love of God, do not make the firearms spammable, because that gets so annoying so fast. Learn from Injustice 2, please. Now, as I mentioned before, these are the two main characters that are going to be playing a big part of the story in Crisis on Infinite Earths. We have the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor. One character pretty much assembles all of the heroes, while the other character assembles all of the villains. And having these two as not only the major players in Injustice 3, but having them as playable characters would be so unique. Both of these characters could definitely have toolkits that could counter each other. So literally, it's up to the smartest players to decide how they can work with them. Now, just for a bit of the nostalgia purposes, I decided to put the Harbinger in the roster. And originally I was gonna be selecting, well, gonna find separate images, but I feel like it would be interesting to have these two together as a duo. So Hawk and Dove, if there's any way to possibly make like a change in characters, well, a character that is good as a duo together. I'm not talking about the sidekick system, by the way, slash cameo system from Mortal Kombat, but I would just love to have an input on a character. That way they could just swap out. Given I would also have to try to find a way to see how they could work in a solo game, because this is not a tag team game. So anyways, that's the end of all the characters that I would like to see in Injustice 3, but I left space because I want to hear which characters you would like to see join the roster. And again, it's a massive if the roster, well, if we're getting the game. It's honestly pretty fun to just like dive down and to talk about all these characters and pretty much just bring out a lot more into the discussion. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe to my channel and turn on those post notifications so that you never miss out on a video or a live stream. And if you would like to help support the channel, check out buymeacoffee.com/Enygma. The links for everything will be down in the description box below. And as always, this is Enygma Shooting Star signing out.